So let me guess, you just had your bloods back from your doctor and everything's come back normal, yet you're still struggling with IBS, bloating, reflux, hormonal issues, skin issues, anxiety, depression. The list can keep going on and on and on. So you can't just have a blood test. You have to almost set yourself up. And there's a few key fundamentals to a blood test that really matter. The first one is actually the blood test itself. Are you getting enough markers done? And it will require you to invest into it. A free blood test is free for a reason. Probably not going to be any good. So for example, Atlas. Great company. The blood test I use covers over 65 markers. And the way I like to explain a blood test to someone is imagine a puzzle piece. Let's say you go to your doctor and they look at 10 blood markers, right? So out of a 100-piece puzzle, you get 10 pieces. Can you make that picture out? I very much doubt it. Whereas if I gave you 65 pieces to a puzzle, you have a much better understanding what that picture's supposed to be. That's what we think about the blood test. The next part is how that blood test is taken. I have a 3-day protocol that clients must follow before they get their bloods done. For example, not training 2 to 3 days before the test because that can affect things like liver enzymes. The morning of the test, not fasting too long because that can mess with things like iron markers, for example. Have you consumed food? Have you had a coffee? Are you stressed out? Are you dehydrated? All these things can seriously affect the markers shown in a blood test. And for someone like myself that's going to look at each marker as like individual markers as well as together, it can really skew that analysis and it can give false readings and actually make it less effective. A bonus thing you can actually do is if you struggle with a lot of symptoms, especially females with hormonal issues at the time of the cycle, getting your bloods done when there is an actual symptom flare or a hormonal flare, when you look at those bloods, see why that could be happening. Now, say your bloods have now been drawn, that's when I would say to my clients, right, now let's look at your lifestyle, your steps, your food choices, your macros, your calories, your training layout, all your symptoms, and let's start things like elimination diets or food adjustments, all these things. And then when those results come back, I analyze them, I compare them to functional ranges, not normality. Remember, society has this perception that the word normal is always a good thing. Is it though? We have to appreciate what is actually normal. It's not that everyone is chasing optimal because optimal doesn't exist, especially in today's time, but those reference ranges for normal are incredibly wide. For example, blood sugar. You could be on the verge of type 2 diabetes and still be in the normal. It's mental. And that's why we have to appreciate that when I look at someone's blood, following that 3-day protocol, we actually want to look at those more tighter reference ranges to where the body should be, not based on the average health of the population. That is basically how you can feel crap, have no energy, have loads of symptoms like IBS, bloating, reflux, hormonal issues, skin issues, you name it. And yet your doctor goes, no, you're fine. It's normal, you know, and then they just mask you with medication. This is why it's important to understand the human body is far more complex than that, and you have to treat it with respect. And that respect comes with having a greater understanding of things. I would always choose a blood test over any other tests, and I also do DNA testing. The reason being is bloods can genuinely tell you most things. You can see leaky gut, overgrowth, deficiencies, metabolic health, organ function, hormonal fluctuation. Bloods can show you that as a snapshot in time, and as you get to know that individual, you use that information alongside things like symptoms, past trauma, health history, their lifestyle, how they feel, how they respond when you communicate with them, and put all those pieces together with unbiased information like bloods. And you'll have all that information to utilize going forward to guide that person. I very much run the rule of if I work with someone, they have to get a blood test done. If they're not willing to get a blood test done, I won't work with them. I treat that person with respect, and although that person will bring me their symptoms, their emotions, and what they're willing to share about their story, yes, I want those emotions, and yes, I want all that to come with it. I also have to treat that person with unbiased information, which you're only going to get through testing. So that person might feel they have yeast, Candida, and they've seen on Instagram, or a parasite or whatever. I look at their bloods and they've got poor blood sugar balance and they're really sedentary. Have they got yeast overgrowth, or is it really poor blood sugar balance and it's triggering a lot of yeast-based symptoms because of those lifestyle factors? That's what I mean. You have to dig deeper. You need to know that person's shell, how their body is showing up and how it's seeing and looking and perceiving, as well as that person's health history and symptoms, as well as what their bloods are saying when it's analyzed correctly. Unbiased information, their biased information, as well as what their body is saying. You know, all those three come together, and that's a truly tailored approach. And to top it off even more, as a bonus, you can take it as far as even DNA assessments. What's more important is we have to see where that person is right now, and that's what bloods will show first.